Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole and Yvie. G'day, mate. And so we exchanged one Cahill for another. So, yeah, no one can hear you guys yet. Hang on just a second. Let me reset this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Evie,
Okay.
gorgeous, good. I thought you'd be making a self-deprecating joke. I was like, darling, no, you're the snack here.
I said I was the better looking of the two Cahills.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and talk about
Shots
today's
fired,
episodes.
Adam.
Between Two Fires and 2001.
Yes.
They said they can't hear me and Evie.
Yeah, I just fixed it.
Cool.
The Between Two Fires and 2001 are these episodes, and they are two of my favorites of the Stargate canon.
Yes.
They are
some heavy episodes.
Yeah.
well, they are building
Yeah.
on previously existing lore, and they really just I think they conclude them both. So this is the thing about season 5 of SG-1. The show was wrapping up its loose ends and trying to corner Earth as much as possible because Anubis was on the way, and that was going to be some version of the movie. And then there was going to be an Atlanta spinoff after that. That was the plan.
Right.
So
Okay.
they're isolating us as much as possible, and the Tolan are one of those first losses. The Tok'ra come later. So
Yes. Yeah.
I want to take the time to thank people for coming and joining us today. And thank you, Ian, for coming from the last stream into this stream.
yes,
Oh, so nice to
absolutely.
meet you.
Nice to see some
Ian.
people crossing over for sure. And if you enjoy the episode, click the like button. It really does help. We've got Adam's art.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
So
we
Between Two
do.
Fires, let's have a look at that first. You guys ready? Let me know when you've got it ready to go.
Yes,
I've
I'm
got
ready.
Let's take a look at Between Two Fires.
That is so interesting. That is the most
Oh,
unique
wow.
take. I did not think that that's where this one was going to go.
Paper again, paper art.
The paper
It's really
art. I
cute.
love this stuff.
Oh, the alien is incredible.
Yeah, that is.
Yep.
And the
Those
way it's like between two fires,
snakeheads.
there's like a sun and then a bunch of stars coming down, like that's the fire.
Yes.
It's like, ooh.
I can't get over the alien's knee pads. It's really detailed.
It's like his muscles are like on the outside, like the veiny
I
parts.
don't know. It kind of just looks like he's made of metal. It looks
That's very,
like,
Yeah.
very cool.
is it metallurgy? Is that the right term, like the right phrase?
I'm not entirely
It's
sure.
incredible.
The head is very xenomorph again, and like
It
a
is
very
xenomorph.
predator kind of thing. They're kind of weird.
I think
sleek
the
kind of
AI has like a
veniness.
really limited view of what an alien looks like.
Well,
I think the AI
they're
really
doing
likes
what they
Ridley
can
Scott.
with it.
Yeah.
Adam says, I've been trying out Stable Diffusion 3 on an online website as the model hasn't been released to the public yet, but will be in about 24 hours by the time you read this. It appears to have a much better understanding of what I'm asking for when inputting the prompt. This image represents both the Tolan making the deal with the Goa'uld as well as SG-1 making the deal with the Tolan. Both are alien to the other, hence one character looking more alien-like. I did have a literal image as well, but I could have submitted, but I know how much David loves the papercraft style, so I'll save the
We all
joke
love
image
it.
for another day.
Aw,
This is really
the
well done.
joke image.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
really like it.
very well done.
I love the depth in it.
The light and shadow,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's really cool. So very well done, Adam.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
You guys want to have a look at 2001?
I do.
Let's check it out. Ooh.
Oh, the old Vaxline Sturley.
Vackline Sterling. This one
is
also
cool,
uses
though.
Stable Diffusion 3. Was that Stable Diffusion
Yes.
3? Yeah, he says. And didn't take long to get what I was after. It's getting better at understanding text, and although it's not perfect, the title on the newspaper still gets the idea across. I did consider making the word sterility look like alien text for Daniel to translate, but decided against it. So yeah,
Yeah.
he took it more literally.
I thought out of all the
Yeah.
things, this is the one that I expected to be potentially newspaper clippings. So it's very
Oh, yeah?
cool that Adam went for it. Yeah, because it's the most, for me, it's like the staple of
Is
2001
it,
because that's
it's
the
like the
discovery.
turning point kind of
Yeah.
the whole episode, really, other
It's
than
the
the
Hashem
actual
connection.
use of the word sterility.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where the entire episode sort of like pivots, and you're like, oh, they've
Yeah.
finally figured it out.
This is true.
These are the bad guys.
I
Hello.
really like this one. I like this episode as well, just because it's just so exciting. We'll get on that when we get
For
on
sure.
that. It's
Mhm.
like it's just there's such a that newspaper is such an important part of it. So I do love that.
Did a
It
good job,
is.
man. These are great.
Yeah.
All right.
I
think-
have go Evie.
I was just gonna say, I think even the clothing that the gentleman is wearing in the newspaper looks era appropriate because it was
Yes.
supposed to be like
Yes.
circa 1920s. So
Yep.
I did a whiteboard picture today
Ooh, for
for
bad
a
example.
bad example.
Yay!
So
Let's see your
As
bad
always,
example.
yeah, as always, and Ian, you're new, so we play bad example. We draw a bad picture, or we try to make it a good picture, and we try and guess what it is. So this is going to be an episode. Yeah, I've given you some hints because I feel like the main image wasn't obvious enough. Obviously,
Okay.
guys, just wait till the chat figures it.
Sure.
Tries to make some guesses. So guess
Okay.
in the chat, guys. There we go.
I've got it.
Oh my god. How can you get these
This
so
is the
quickly?
clue, and this is the clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know a certain
assume
person
that
who's gonna
that
love
is-
Yeah,
Has the certain person already seen it?
it was a certain person's idea, David.
Oh, okay.
Certain person.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I'm going to say, Evie, think to 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so it's
Look at the
like
the
a Jeff
thing.
episode. Okay, so right. So it was Jeff's episode.
Anthony, Ritu,
Yeah.
Charlie, Lockwatcher, Ritu, Gene Diotta, Ritu. That's
Oh.
it.
They
Show
got
and
it.
tell.
Am I really
Mother, so that's
Ritu was
Mother with
good.
a
That
gun.
Ritu had
That
the
is-
Ritu
yes, she has
been
a
by
gun.
itself, I would have gotten it because of the stock eyes and the red eyes. You did it.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
very
Okay, because
good.
when I read Mother, I thought that was like a partial swear, and I was like, who's saying that before they enter the gate?
Jeff said to me, draw me coming through the gate. And I went, Jeff, do you know how many episodes start like that? That's not going to help anybody. And then
Yeah.
I was like, I need to draw Mother and then make it obvious that it's Mother somehow.
Yes.
And then he went, I don't say Mother at that moment. And I was like, Jeff, you're getting too technical. Be quiet.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
cool.
Oh, that's very well
Wow.
done. I don't know why we hadn't
Enjoy
thought of
that.
doing one of those before. So that makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
I was
like
with
it.
Jeff and I was like, what do I choose? And he's like, my one. And I went, sure. So,
All right.
and everyone's saying, what's the episode name called?
Show and tell.
It's Show and Tell.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
So I'm very bad with episode names. So if we ever actually played this with other people, I'd need there to be like some sort of like caveat
Hangman?
where you know, you didn't actually have to name the episode. You could just describe what happened.
When
in
we
the
do
episode.
Pictionary,
Yeah.
naming the episode will be an additional point. Describing what it is, we'll get
okay.
it for you. But naming the episode would be
Okay.
an
So for
additional
Evie and
point.
I on a team, Evie can help figure it out, and then I'll
That's
be
what I'm
like,
gonna
need
try to
someone who
do.
knows-
I'm gonna try to
I know.
balance it.
I need someone in my team who knows the episode names
Yeah.
because
I used to
I'm
know
not
them
great
really
with
well,
them.
and I just don't anymore. They're
Yeah.
falling out of my brain. All right, you all set?
yes, Between Two Fires. I'm
Between
going to say,
Two
Ian,
Fires.
you're new. David's going to put a countdown on. If you're watching the UK version, you'll get ahead by a few minutes. By the end, you'll be a bit out of sync because ours is the US version, but that's okay.
We try to watch it
just-
with the NTSC version. That's why I have
Yes.
listed there 44 minutes. That's when the credits begin. Is at the 44-minute mark.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
but yeah,
yours is a bit faster, so you'll just get to the end before us, but it shouldn't be too much of a difference.
yeah.
Cool.
Let's
Let's
have
play.
fun, David.
Well,
do the
let me
thing.
just set up my notey notes.
Your notey notes.
My notey notes. Oh,
thought you said
I'm
naughty
so
notes.
Sad
I thought
that
so
it's
too.
the end of Nareem.
I know he about to
I
go
love
home.
him so much.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
it's going to be Dr. Weir's husband eventually. We're good.
Yes, but he's a
Boyfriend.
different character.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it is boyfriend.
Yep. You guys ready?
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Between Two Fires in 5, 4, 3. My name is David Reed. I'm with Nicole
Hello.
and Yvie,
Hello.
and we're watching Stargate SG-1 509, Between Two Fires, and we're getting a flashy flashback to season 1. I had never seen this episode, so I didn't know. I didn't at that point know what was going on. My first,
Oh no.
like my first encounter of the Tolan was Pretense. So
Oh, okay. This episode marks the final appearance of my boo, Garwin Sanford
Yep.
as Nareem, and Marie Stillen as well as High Chancellor Travell. And it wraps up their 3 episode story arcs. So Garwin, as we mentioned pre-stream, does appear in Stargate Atlantis as Simon Wallace, and in my headcanon, he was placed under galactic witness protection and given a new identity on Earth.
I love
I've
that
just
this
always had a soft
episode
spot.
Yeah.
is as dreary as it is, and the
Guys, we
raining.
stood right there.
If it was sunny,
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been as impactful because the sun is setting on the Tolan Empire.
Yeah.
And
That's true. There's so
it's
many,
very atmospheric.
like so much symbolism in this episode.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep.
We literally stood right there and took a bunch
We
of pics. I
did.
love this.
We did. So this is the academic quadrangle,
Uh-huh.
I believe.
That's right.
This episode is the second of 4 writing credits for Ron Wilkerson this season.
Mhm.
And he actually returns for Proving Ground and The Sentinel. And it is directed by William Garrity. So this is his first of 2 episodes this season, and he is back in a few episodes' time for Desperate Measures.
Marie Stillen. I love her.
Yeah. I do like that they invited, the humans of Earth, who like Omark was like so nasty to, but he actually like secretly had a
Yes.
soft spot for them. It's like, oh, what a cutie.
Cutie patootie.
What?
Nothing.
Did you say cutie patootie
I
in
did.
the silly way that I do?
Yeah.
I was trying to
Oh,
think what
I
you said.
actually thought that the dialogue cut out, and I was like, oh no, we've lost David.
That's funny. I love her performance. I would love to get her on Dial the Gate. I've tried, and
But she's no longer in the industry, is she?
Yeah, she's just passed. So
Oh, right.
I get it.
Yeah. She's very graceful.
Yes.
Mhm, absolutely. You buy that she runs this whole operation.
Yes. So I actually think we were talking about symbolism a second ago. I think it's actually really interesting to see her wearing a hooded cloak, because to me it seems like really symbolic, as if she's like hiding something or is like ashamed of her actions to the point where you can't like see her whole face. Does that make sense? That's like how my mind works.
Yeah. She's
But like
hiding
speaking of
something.
clothes, Tilk is like cutting a figure in those Earth
He
clothes.
is.
He
looks
is. He looks
damn
great.
good.
This is true.
I really just love this location.
It's a beautiful spot.
It
It's
really
a
is.
stunning university, it really is.
Yeah, and it's the
Caprica
water
City.
something, the waterfront district in Caprica. What is it called?
The Caprica City, the capital.
It's the yeah, but it's had the district has a name. So
I think you're right. I think it is waterfront.
yeah.
Can't
Oh,
remember.
oh.
There's some sneaky sleight of
Oh.
hand.
Very good. Staring right at him. Pulled it off.
I wonder if he practiced that over and over again.
It is a bit suspicious that these guys are here with their guns, and it's like, they're following
Yeah.
Nareem around and SG-1 around.
It's capital
like,
security, I mean, it's
pretty
normal.
I mean, it's more severe than last time, though. It's
Yep.
a lot.
Absolutely. I love how she adjusts it.
Yeah, so do I. So
it's
he's
such a
talking to
good
her.
idea. Just makes it feel more immersive.
Uh-oh.
Oh, delightfully vague.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. as
Nareem,
always.
you started this. Just
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
that.
he did. Oh. It's hard to use that as an argument though, when like his entire planet probably perishes in the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this episode, of course, is the last time that we see the Tolans, but they are mentioned later on as having been wiped out in the episodes Failsafe and The Warrior. And Joe Malozzi said that this episode was initially nicknamed Between Two Acts due to some early challenges. After these were resolved and Ron Wilkerson submitted a first draft, there was apparently a humorous incident where a dog urinated on the script during the review session. But despite that rocky start, the joke that the dog wasn't critical in the script writing, everything came together in the end, apparently. So
these are the downsides of having dog-friendly offices, which they did. And John Smith had a dog. I forget who else had a dog, but it was a beautiful lab. I mean, Rick had his dog, so Australian Shepherd. But yeah, no, this is a border collie. Excuse me. For a funeral. I agree. You knew this guy.
Yeah. This is a shame because this is like one of the big leading races in the galaxy.
I know.
Not
one of our greatest allies.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Cool shot.
Yeah. Damn, the Tolan know how to dress.
Yep.
Like, damn.
They're like futuristic and like, it's like interesting.
They're very sharp. They should have withheld Peter Wingfield's name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't really crop up until like 3/4 of the way through the episode. And I think it would have been way better for first-time viewers. If
that's a contractual thing, though. They can't just do that. So they have to work it out with the actor's agent sometimes. Yeah. Like Peter Williams agreed to save the surprise. Tori Higginson did, in Be All My Sins Remembered. Peter Williams did in Joel and Ours Memories. So I love this room. I love this set.
It's minimalistic, but
I want to age as gracefully as this woman. She is so beautiful.
Yeah, she is stunning. Yeah. Both sad and happy.
Oh, by the by, we have a gold mothership hanging over our city right now. But anyway.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
Didn't see that one coming.
No, not at all.
I think this is the first hint of Anubis.
Yes. It is the first hint of Anubis. They don't mention him by name. He's literally described as the one without a name or something. Yeah.
Like the Voldemort.
Oh, he has a name. The likes of you must be forbidden to know it.
Thank you. Yes.
All of a sudden, an exchange.
She's technically correct.
This is so good.
Go on.
So what was the Goa'ulds like end games with this? Were they just hoping to buy
they knew that Tolan had cloaking technology, had phased shift technology, and they wanted to use it as a weapon.
But why have this interaction with SG-1 to try and give them some of the cannons which aren't effective?
Aren't the Goa'uld trying to wipe out SG-1?
Right.
I mean,
so they wanted to sell them these cannons, make them think that they work, then launch a big attack, and then they realize, at the last possible second that they don't actually work.
From a story perspective, SG-1 need not ever have been involved. Oma could have died. Right. The Goa'uld could have said, send the bomb through the iris on Earth and blow him up, and we would have been none the wiser. However, we would have all been dead. So this is a nice story beat, to make it work.
Right. Okay.
So give us the illusion that we're getting everything that we wanted from them, and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, they're completely compromised.
No, I feel like this is...
I love this exchange here. When the light comes back on and he changes his tone.
His delivery is terrible. It's so suspicious.
I think fake acting is so hard to do. So him doing that
as an
so
actor,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that's not easy.
So we
I
have
feel like
established
this
that we
was-
have an off-world trinium mine.
This was a
Yes, we
cry
have.
for help from the Tolans in general. Like, she obviously doesn't want to actually be any part of this, but she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, or between two fires. And so I feel like she's reaching out to SG-1, hoping that they kind of figure it out themselves, even if she doesn't actually like fully commit to saying that. So
Stuck between a rock and a big old space pew pew.
yeah, space pew pew.
It's so strange because she was one of the ones who was like, no, this is the Tolan law.
was
We're
dead
not
against
going to do
it.
it. And now
So
it's like,
shocking.
who are you? Have you been taken over by a Goa'uld?
Yeah, it's really suspicious. Which is great because even us watching this, you know, we've only met her before, like briefly, for like one episode. We were like, oh yeah, no, 2 episodes, and we were like, yeah, she could never be like this, you know. It's brilliant.
Just ignore our fluorescent bulbs in the windows behind us there.
Yeah, I saw that.
They look cool. But I would have been like, can someone please turn those off?
So someone on Reddit said that they enjoyed seeing a society where strong principles are put to the test, like in this episode.
Yeah.
However, they were not fond of the suggestion that the Tolans' commitment to democracy led to their demise. What do you guys think?
I think that's entirely possible.
How did it lead to their demise?
Yeah, in what sense? Well,
Like
the thing
the
is,
Curia authorized a betrayal of. I mean, they all
Yes.
just chose together. I mean, democracy is mob rule. I mean, democracies historically, for better or for worse, they eventually always fail. So
yeah, which is very sad.
that's
Yeah.
it's just where we're at. So, but at least
is
Nareem
like-
is principled.
Yes, this
Well,
is the
that's
thing.
it, yeah.
They're such a strong race in the galaxy, and they're like one of our earliest allies. So it's really heartbreaking to see them go. I'm pretty devastated.
Yeah.
This is about to happen.
Let's just enjoy them while they're still there.
Absolutely, and I intend to in the next 30 minutes.
I love that. Slap one in Washington, and it only covers some of the US. Gonna need some more.
I actually couldn't help but noticing the very limited coverage in Western Australia, where I'm from, because it's the biggest state and there's only one, and it's sort of like at the top.
Well, you put one on the moon, you know. I mean, this will be a lot of this will be taken care of, but whatever.
Don't you think it's sort of intriguing that it's 38?
Yeah.
You know, like the same number.
Yeah.
Like the minutes that the wormhole can stay open. I just wonder if that was intentional or if it was just a coincidence.
They're just numbers that we like, aren't they?
That's it.
Yeah, maybe.
38. I love the reaction. Yep. It's a fair point.
Ian says, I think in the end it's self-preservation. No matter how good you are, surely you will find a way, like the Nox. Yeah. I mean, the Nox are still kicking around somewhere, you know? That's nice to know.
That's true.
Presumably. Yeah.
But there are
Shame they
those who would
couldn't
rather
help.
die than betray their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
God, what a question. I would say, Yvie, David, would you betray your friends or would you rather die? But like, what? Like, in what scenario?
What kind of question is that?
Yeah, I could never answer it.
Also, I love that Jack said, "Don't blow it." Like that choice of words seems
Right,
quite
exactly.
unfortunate
Yeah.
given how things turn out.
I mean, I consider myself a principled person, but, you know, I can always just say that. You know, I have to be seriously put in a position like that to know for sure. I believe that I would, though.
I think that nothing's black and white, is it? And you'd have to be really tested in order to do something. I think I'm also pretty
Not much
principled.
is black and white. There are a couple things that are, but not much is.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I love Garwin in this episode. He actually had
so
something
do
to
I.
do. So
Yes,
he always
he
called
did.
himself the butler in the previous episode in Pretense.
Oh,
This
the
way.
butler.
This way.
Aw.
He's such a
So,
nice, friendly butler.
Yeah. So I was listening back to your interview with him on Dial the Gate, and he mentioned that Amanda Tapping was always very professional. And he said that even after, working together for a couple of seasons, she still wanted to rehearse their scenes together before shooting
Oh.
so that they could work better together and understand each other more. So I thought that was really cool.
There is
That's
there is, sexual tension.
There is, for sure.
Yes.
I love his tunic.
He looks damn good.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're okay.
Oh yeah, because much like the Togra supposedly, they don't like have secrets. Everything's like available in a public
It's fairly
database.
so. Yeah.
Public record.
What is going on?
Ian said, if it's not betrayal, if Ford can survive a Wraith ship, surely the Tolan can survive the Gould. I'd like to think that a couple survived and ran off with the Nox, and that was that. But
So-
if anyone was going to survive, it was going to be Nareem.
I
didn't,
will
so.
share at some point here the conversation that the producers had with Garwin about a Nareem
Yes.
return with a
Yes.
certain snake in his head.
Oh, yes. This.
Yes.
I've heard you mention this before, but for the people in the room who don't know, I'm looking forward to this again.
Yeah, and if Yvie has the information, I will let her share it in a little while.
No, I actually didn't grab that because I wasn't sure if we mentioned it last stream
Yep.
when we had the Tolan on.
Yep. Well, it's more relevant now because
Yeah,
this is the last one.
absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Refresh everyone's memory.
A
Shiny.
block of mirrors.
Yeah.
Do you people practice being vague?
Yeah. God.
Oh, Lockwatcher just said something emotionally devastating. Was Schrodinger killed during the destruction of Tolana? Was there a point when the
see,
cat was
in
both
my-
dead and alive?
No.
Oh, jeez.
No.
So in Stargate Worlds, you visit Tolana in the rubble, and you find Nareem, and he's poking around, and you have to do some missions for Nareem, and one of them is to find Schrodinger. So he's out there running around.
Because the last time we saw him, he was actually coming through on the Earth side, and so in my head canon, he just stayed there.
Yeah,
He stayed
he's
back on
wandering
Earth.
around the house somewhere in
Yeah.
Nareem's house.
I hope that he's surviving on the local fauna that
Oh,
survived.
yeah, fallen
cats are very resourceful.
fauna. Yeah, fallen humans.
Hmm.
Probably chewed on her.
Yeah.
Nom nom.
Survival at all costs.
Those are cats for you, man.
Yes, they
I
are.
respect it.
Nice modern house. And it has a lock.
Oh yeah, oh no, with a for a
How
key.
dare they?
Oh, David, why would
but
you point that out?
They added in that kind of like that swishing sound, so it sounded like really high tech.
Yep.
Yeah, futuristic.
Was that my voice?
Teal'c's even like, bruh, calm down. Like this isn't,
Well, he kind
this
of just
isn't the Riz.
bypasses it completely.
And
doesn't even mention
we can basically do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Mm.
I like seeing Teal'c and Sam. It's nice. It's cute.
Mm-hmm. So there are no crimes of passion in the Tolan world.
Apparently, yeah.
They probably have very dry literature.
Dry
No Romeo and
literature.
Juliet.
That's a Star Trek
Macbeth.
reference. If anyone can point it out, I will give them major points.
Okay, so
D&D
if you
Arda
pay
talking about
close
Nareem being creepy.
attention, you'll see that in the bottom left-hand corner, the topic of
no.
discussion is: should earthworms be genetically engineered to live on Tolana?
Is that really it?
Yep, I paused it just to double check.
That's the conversation that the Curia was having?
Apparently, yeah.
That's what they're fussing about? Earthworms? Bottom left?
Yep, bottom left. Should earthworms be genetically engineered?
Wow.
You just thought for a
Sure
second.
are.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so without intending to be really crass, the camera angle on Daniel in this scene makes it look like he's doing something kind of private. Like I understand that he's fidgeting because of the high stakes, the
Yeah.
Yes.
negotiation process and everything, but the way that it's filmed is
Yeah.
not doing him any favors.
Yeah.
No. I do like this scene. I like the way that they're just kind of leaning on each other a bit. Like they're
I do
way
like
close
it
on that
too.
rock. And it's really
Yeah.
nice. Like they're broing it up and being like secrets.
It's sure I can't unsee that, Evie. Thanks a lot.
I know. I've seen it like even before I watched it to write my notes. I saw it and it just I don't know, it's weird.
Shimmering Victoria, wasn't that a reference from Voyager someone to talking to Tuvok? It is Kess and the Doctor. On my world, it's so much simpler. You choose a mate for life. There's no jealousy, no deceit, no betrayal. Your world must have very dry literature.
That is a good quote.
All right. You have been summoned, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty house.
Christopher Judge has great posture.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Oh, their knees are almost touching.
I love that she's like, can't deal with my voice. I'd feel the
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
No one likes their own voice. Mm.
Oh
He
my
wanted to say something to her,
God.
and then he got cut
He's
off
gonna
by the front door.
crop up in between, like, yeah, just the symbolism.
I love how he pulled his tunic down. He knew his tunic was riding in the back, and he pulled it down.
I love that it just stays with them at the front door camera, just like bickering. This is the great Stargate chemistry that makes the show so good.
It is, yeah.
I love how the Tolan love their giant potted plants.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bunch of trees in his house.
He sure does.
What on earth? Didn't even think of that. Yeah, this is all very suspicious.
Oh, Tilky, he's found something.
He's found a pocket.
A pocket?
Of suspicion. A pocket of sus.
A pocket of sus.
Yes. And now Omark is dead.
Yeah.
I'd love to be friends with someone who's like as aggro as Omark because like it means he really has to respect you to like be your friend. Not just being nice.
Omak, I think, just tolerated people.
Yeah, I really love him.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
There's the pocket discrepancy.
This is not normal for our society. It's just not done.
Well, laws sometimes are broken, darling.
Yeah, but he's not used to it. They just don't do it.
No. So, someone on Reddit found that the Tolan Society values
Transparency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially how that their government views lying as like a more serious crime than murder. So they suggested that this perspective would probably make the Earth team feel uncomfortable with thinking about their own governments.
Mm.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to say.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Murder mystery on Tulana.
Yeah. An evil conspiracy.
Evil conspiracy.
Evil.
I can't believe he
have a
came
good
into being
conspiracy,
seriously
though?
and said evil. Yeah, exactly. Just a conspiracy, my guy. By the way, seeing General Hammond kick butt on Psyche was something I did not expect.
cool.
I didn't realize he could move that
Oh
good.
yeah, he's
at
in
that
like the very
age.
first episode.
Yeah, he's in the first few. He's doing a lot. So
I remembered
guy.
watching this episode the first time and being surprised, like asking myself, okay, why would they be giving this technology to us? And honestly, I did not consider, well, because they're now useless as an option.
Yeah,
Because we think of them as all powerful, you know, in terms of being able to defend themselves.
this is a twist that I just don't think many people would see coming
That's it.
at all. It's just so unlike them.
It's a very slow moving episode,
Oh, it's
but I
great.
think that makes it all the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an unusual murder mystery.
Darling, there's already lying and manipulating going on. Calm down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've brought us into this, man. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, this is excellent. I love the moral dilemma he's having. He's like, oh, what do I do? Something bad.
Mm.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Darling. Mm.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Teal'c coming in with
Yep.
They're just
questions.
making him feel. It's like.
I
It's a
feel
bit of a
bad that he's being
guilt
like kind of
trip.
berated a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's so stubborn because he can't possibly believe this. It's
Well,
like he must be in
it's
so
just
much
so
pain.
outside of his like perception of his society.
Yeah.
His brain is having to be rewired.
Yeah.
I don't remember his tunic being off, but I guess so.
He took it off earlier when he was
Yeah.
sitting next to Sam.
He
'cause
sure
she took off
did.
her coat.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the prettiest he's ever been in the show.
Aw.
Like, he's less creepy this episode, and I like him.
Oh, I don't find him creepy.
I find him very creepy. Yeah, let's have that.
Couple extra.
Free stuff.
God.
Yeah, all violations are being broken today, darling.
Yep.
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 Have you got like a phaser save?
Yeah.
Is there like a gun save?
I think one was laying on the counter there earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Next to his
So-
computer monitor.
Yeah. Let's just take a moment to consider like what an awful day Nareem is having. So
Oh
like,
Yep.
he's
my
dealing with the
God.
shock of his friend's murder, discovering that his government has been dishonest with the citizens, and he's on the verge of breaking and entering. On top of that, he's been pressured into illegally providing SG-1 with weapons and phase shifting technology. And to cap it all off, Sam found out that he was using her voice to create an AI in his home.
Yep.
Dear oh dear. Urias Tosh, he's a tad creepy, thank you. Just
I
a tad.
mean, come on.
I don't know. I like compared to like Orlin, I think his creepiness is a lot.
Oh, you know what?
lower
Actually,
in my mind.
comparatively, yeah, you know what? Great point. I do like these screens.
They are cool. Very subtle.
And it didn't work, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy Anubis
Yep. New shields.
using that
Yeah.
de-ascended knowledge.
Yep.
So someone else on Reddit pointed out that the Tolan are a classic case of a civilization becoming too self-satisfied. So they progressed so far and felt so safe that they stopped creating new things and lost their ability to defend themselves. So when the
yeah.
Gorwald came and the iron cannons didn't work, the Tolan were like unprepared and completely vulnerable. So with no backup plan for such like a critical failure, they would have been sort of like easily defeated. Sadly.
It's the classic arrogance that most species
Yeah.
like die of in Stargate. You know, like the Gauls
Yep.
are just so arrogant, we kill them all off. The
Mm.
ancients were quite arrogant, and the Wraith overpowered them in their numbers, and they just couldn't deal with it. It's just like every species is dying off due to arrogance, and it's you know, stay humble, guys.
Listen,
That's the moral
lesson
of the
to be
story.
learned there.
Yeah, stay humble. I love this.
I
You guys have
know.
touched each other's faces. You guys have hugged. You guys have done what you've had to do to save the world. The least you
Well,
can do
I
is
think
hold
it's
hands.
cute that Tilk presents his hand to Jack.
Yeah.
Calm down. which is kind of unusual compared to like the typical palm up gesture. But I think it's
Yeah.
like further details that, he's not obviously familiar
Well,
with.
he's wearing the device on his
customs.
arm too, so that maybe
Yeah,
has
so he's
something to do
like
with
maybe
it.
gotta hold on to
Maybe.
it. Look,
So-
I just love the way that Jack holds his hand properly. He's like, we must hold hands. Yes. He's like,
The interlacing
interlocking.
fingers. And they
It's like
stay
those
like that
bathroom
for like a
tiles.
good couple of beats.
Well, because Teal'c's not inhibited, by Earth customs like Jack is.
He's like, let go of me. I don't want this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Ian is adamant that the Tolan survived. Look, I really want to.
I hope
yes,
so.
Ian. David is gonna like say some things afterwards that might make you feel
of
better
what
and
would
worse.
have been, but not what happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I
Looks a little like a gold bomb on the inside of there.
was gonna say,
Mm.
looks like the Death Star as well.
Cool device.
Lockhart just said this looks like a cafeteria room in a university.
Kind of does.
Yeah, it's got big open space.
Is this their cafeteria?
I would love for it to be their cafeteria. I bet it's a set, but I'd love for that to be the case.
Yeah,
It'll be easy enough to clear out tables and chairs.
that's true.
Yeah. Don't lean on the non-functioning bomb.
So we have a clip coming up from the season 4 episode Chain Reaction for the test of the Naquita enhanced nuclear warhead.
That's a playback from a previous episode.
Mm.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Ian said I called it with Ford, and it was confirmed the other day. I'm hopeful. Yes. Yeah, we're all hopeful. We all want more.
Oh, from the season 6 notes, yeah.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you for coming.
No
to
one
that,
in
Ian.
Stargate is ever truly dead.
No,
Mm-mm.
as the season 6 notes showed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 3 or 4
The Atlantis season
characters
6
come back
notes,
to life.
if anybody was wondering on Stargate.
He's still optimistic. Listen to him.
The poor guy.
Mm-mm. It's trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. And your people have been got. Oh dear, I don't like it seeing her be evil. I like that she's
Yes.
holding it upright
Full
while
of
those guys are holding
security
it
and
sideways.
liars. Yes.
Did you notice some of them hold it up and some of them hold
Yes.
it side? It's like they just choose whichever one they like
Mm-hmm.
most.
Fighting stance. Junbi.
Lockwatch said it was a cafeteria at Simon Fraser.
Wow. Okay.
That was a good.
How do
good
you know that?
intuition.
Oh.
Oh, I hate you, die. Please. Isn't he an
ashamed.
anesthesiologist now?
He is.
Yes.
With glowing eyes.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, William and I were
yeah.
talking about that when we were in Edinburgh the other day, walking around. We were like, yeah, he's an anesthesiologist. We got a whole thing about him. It's great. What a smart dude.
I'd love to have him on the show, but he's busy
Saving people.
anesthetizing people.
Yeah.
That is a mouthful.
It's hard to say.
Oh.
Anesthetizing.
Oh, dear. Hello.
Oh, so
Ooh. Ooh.
Jack and Tilk with those triangle guns.
Uh-huh,
Looks
I
like
love
they've
them.
finally
Taken from
found
the,
the right defensive angle.
The little Curia devices. It's a repurposed use of the prop.
Brilliant.
I also just
Oh,
made
it
a really
is.
bad pun.
Just realized.
Yep,
Sorry, Evie, say the pun again.
I
missed
just said
it.
they found a good defensive angle. 'cause it's a
Funny.
triangle.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
I don't like you sometimes.
He is deliciously bad.
He is. He's so bad. I want to punch him. I hate how attractive he is as well, which makes me even angrier.
So I didn't see the season 4 finale at this point. So when I saw this guy, I had not really seen him before.
Yep. You didn't realize the beef.
Yep. Oh, so that makes it okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be at the end of today, so.
So I was reading comments online and someone expressed their disappointment with the Tolan, pointing out their willingness to arm the Gua wall to protect themselves sort of hardly makes them helpful allies. So while this person could see where the Tolan were coming from in earlier episodes, they felt that their stubbornness and isolationism were their downfall. They did feel for Nareem, acknowledging that he was a good person who tried to do the right thing, even when it meant bending his own rules.
What's sad is that these guys aligned themselves with the Nox and sort of had them be really, they were close allies with the Nox who would never, ever even dream of doing this to save themselves.
No, they'd kill themselves first.
Yeah. So it just goes to show that, like, you know, there are different people that would do different extremes, and, you know, the Tolan, sadly, not all of them are good and equal in that way.
Yank.
In the most not secretive bush ever.
It is underneath. I think it's underneath a staircase.
Yeah, well, anybody walks right behind Nareem there, they'll get got.
You better get the health implants.
Oh,
Teal'c's ears are ringing.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Easy, big fella.
Easy, Chewie.
What I love about this is leading up to, like, the end of the season Anubis stuff. Like, it's slowly building up. Like, the shields thing is going to be a problem for the Asgard later, and that is so cool. Ooh.
This was just a matter of time.
Yeah, it really was.
Someone would put these two things together.
We're just lucky that the bad guys haven't always been able to figure out the phasing technology.
Yeah.
It was the Tolan that had them. If not, we'd be screwed.
Well, I think we just really need to appreciate, like, how beautifully crafted this episode is. Like, I just think
really
it's so brilliant that two of the Tolan's most valued technologies, like the cannon and the phase-shifting tech, has been merged into, like, one super hybrid weapon. So I just really think it's satisfying to see, like, this story arc come full circle like this. Like, that is some really good writing.
Yeah. Your master.
Yeah,
the way they're trying to mock
he's talking about Anubis.
Yeah, you're not in charge. You wench. I love it. Love it. Oh, he has a name.
Oh, he has a name.
So good. Such a great part.
In the Gate World podcast, Darren Sumner pointed out that it's the first time this season that we see evidence of this new villain, you know, basically toppling civilizations across the galaxy.
I love Anubis so much because he's the first bad guy that truly, like, scared me.
I think it's just he's just different. Like, he's a Gore Wolves, but
he's also an ascended
2.0. Yeah. I think
excellent.
it was great because kind of the Gore will get a bit boring after a while.
They're just overdressed ass hats.
So I think it's kind of interesting to see the parallels between, like, Nareem and, say, like, Jonas Quinn's experiences, because, like, both of those characters discover that their governments are deceiving them, and both face ethical dilemmas brought to light by SG-1. I guess the key difference is that Jonas ends up taking refuge on Earth.
Yep.
Whereas Nareem stays to fight.
He stays to fight.
Yuri's Tosh said Anubis is the first Gould and SG-1 that captured the otherworldliness aura that Ra had from the movie. I agree.
They're going to make you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Which suggests that there's a Gould presence in our solar system.
Terrible. Oh, 30 minutes and you're going to kill, you know, at this point, was it 7 billion people on Earth?
Yeah.
Yep. 6 billion.
She's having such a hard time.
Yeah, well, doesn't Joseph Faxon say it in the next episode?
Somewhere near around 6 billion, yeah?
Yeah.
That is unsustainable. Yeah, I know. We're almost up to 9 billion.
That's ridiculous. We need to stop. Thanos had the right idea.
Oh, don't say that.
I joke, obviously.
Oh no.
Dear oh dear. Yes, baby.
Good enough.
I love that she's having such a bad time. She's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like, I feel so bad for her.
So in the upcoming scene, keep an eye on the keep an eye for the people who don't seem to be reacting to the huge explosion happening right next to them.
Yep. It's the thing that always frustrates me about, like, when someone fires a gun and no one winces when they're in a closed-in room. When I'm outside and I fire a gun without ear protection, my eyes ring for half an hour. My ears ring for half an hour. It hurts. It is
Being English,
painful.
I've never heard a gunfire.
Yeah. Consider yourself lucky.
Lockwell just said the glass block walls in the background were added to the cafeteria by production. That makes sense.
Yep.
To give a nice wall they could walk through. Yeah, we've got priorities. The apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
The wall
Wibbly
is
wobbly.
melting.
This is so sad. The episode's almost over, guys. Oh, I hate it.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no. I
No.
know. He's so calm.
The way he
There we go.
just doomed his entire race because he refused to doom other people is just
I
like
know.
he just, you know, destroyed his whole world.
Sure did.
Not his own fault, but like he pulled the trigger
Basically.
essentially.
Well, that's why
by letting
he
it
feels
work.
responsible, so that's why
Yeah.
he hangs around.
What a great shot.
This is such an
Yeah.
amazing ending to an episode.
They're lucky the
I
Stargate
know.
isn't blocked or destroyed.
Well, they're
That would
very
be the first
lucky,
thing I would have
yeah.
targeted.
Oh, Nareem.
So, in the Gateworld podcast, Darren described this final scene as gut-wrenching for
It
Nareem,
really is.
but acknowledged that the Tolan's downfall did play an important role in showing that even the most advanced human race in the local galaxy, with whom we are allied, could be decisively defeated.
Yeah.
And I think, David, in the same podcast, you said you were saddened by the departure of the Tolan and likened it to like the loss of the Nogs.
Yeah,
You
it was a
felt
big
it
deal.
was a significant moment because they were one of the original great allies, and
Yep.
now they're gone.
They're gone.
I just want to say I didn't want to ruin that moment by pointing it out at the time, but I think I saw a kid with an orange backpack who was like, "What's happening?"
Oh no!
Entirely possible.
Because obviously he must be
Going
at
to school.
university just
Yeah.
studying, and then he's like, "I'm in the shot." It looks like that happened for a second.
It's
I think he was
funny.
wearing a hoodie, and he's like, "What?" This is
Mm,
really sad.
it is really sad.
I can't wait for David to give us the nice story when we're done, so that Ian can cheer up.
Yeah. Well,
I'll give it
say
during
this
the
little
end
bit.
credits.
Okay.
Okay, because I'll say this little bit first. So, someone online praised this episode as one of the best in science fiction, noting that it anticipated the dark forest theory 7 years before it was popularized
Oh,
in Lou Cixin's The Three Body
yes.
Problem.
yes.
And for those who don't know, the three body problem arises with three objects in space, such as planets or stars, are close enough to significantly influence each other with their gravitational forces. So basically, like, predicting movements is straightforward with two objects, but the introduction of a third object makes the system chaotic and hard to predict.
Yep.
So in context of this episode, it's like the delicate balance of power between Earth, Tolana, and the Goa'uld.
And it's
That's
now
it.
shown on
That's a
Netflix.
fair point. So, at the 100th episode party, which Garwin Sanford was invited to, several of the higher-ups in the writing department told him, just so you know, we're thinking about bringing Nareem back, but with Chlorel in his head.
Yeah.
There's
Now,
a
I
shot of
actually kind
Nareem
of
coming
would've-
through the Stargate, and it's Chlorel.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a really interesting.
But there wasn't
twist.
supposed to be a season 6, and by the time they got to season
Yeah.
6, they had moved on from the concept.
And they went over to Sci-Fi Channel from
Nice.
Showtime.
Yep. So, getting all kinds of little tidbits now. Got another one with Ancient Barrett and Samantha Carter. Could have been an episode or a series all on their own. So,
Oh wow!
yeah. That was Between Two Fires.
Ian mentioned Ask Log Watcher where they're from, because Ian is in the UK, so can't go to these cool Canadian locations. Yeah, we only got lucky enough to go because we went to GateCon the other year with David. The three of us went with
I'd never been to Simon Fraser, so the many times it's out of the way. It is east.
It is.
It was the last thing we did.
Yeah.
So it was the most relaxing thing we did, I think. So
it was really nice to walk around that campus. It's just beautiful.
We saved the best for last, truly, in many respects. It's such a beautiful campus, and we're all young enough that we look like we could be students. So.
Kind of, yeah. Except I think we kind of all look like we were like rule breaking. Well, I did anyway, because I'm not very good at breaking rules. So I think I looked really suspicious walking around this campus.
But you just have to look like you own the place. I've paid money to be here, darn it.
That's
what was the
David's
other one that we
angle
went
was the whole day. The first university we went to, David was like, "We belong here. It's okay." And I was like, "David."
Well, it was like
around, everyone else was doing orientation, so everyone was walking around like that.
Why on earth did we go on orientation day? We literally went when all the students were signing up. It was crazy.
It was perfect because everyone
it was easier to
clueless.
blend in. Yes,
yeah.
It was easier to
where
blend
am I?
in.
Where's this building? Oh, thanks so much. I'm gonna really enjoy.
We're trying to find our son. Oh God!
Did you say that at one point?
I did.
My kid's missing. That's funny.
So this is a good episode.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really heart-wrenching. It really is.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad. That final scene with Nareem just standing there and just sort of like giving that nod to Sam as she takes one final look at him before, advancing up the stairs and going through the gate. It really hits me in the feels. And I'm very sad to see them go. But it does advance the story. I guess while I'm talking, I might as well just say what my rating is. I was going to give it I think it's actually a pretty perfect episode, even though it is a slow build.
It doesn't have to be all explosions and
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I just love how everything sort of come full circle because they're always sort of bragging about their technology, and then that in the end was what sort of bit them in the bum.
Yep.
Bit them in the bum.
So,
the bum
bit
indeed.
them in the bum. I'm going to give it either a 6 or a 7. I think I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. I thought you were going to give 7 there, so I was very surprised to hear you do 6. Also, bum in Spanish is culo.
Oh, good to know. Meaning ass, right?
Yeah, I knew that because my grandmother in Spain would always threaten me that she was going to hit me on the bum, and she'd just do this a lot. So.
This means culo?
No, this means she's going to whack me on the culo.
She's trying to undercut something.
Yeah, undercut my bum. So I think very similarly to Yvie on this one, I think that this episode is just, it's got like everything going for it. It's one of the more complex episodes. Like, a lot of Stargate early days was just funsies. And now we're at the point where the episodes are getting real deep. And we're wrapping up, sadly, some stories that I wish we didn't. But it's good to see them go because
they could have just been left out there. So
it's important to have some closure on certain species because obviously, so the Nox are still out there doing their thing, kicking about, but the Tolan got wiped out, and they're such a crazy advanced species. So it's like such a big loss, and it's such a good shock, and it's like it's something you didn't expect to see happen. And I'm sad to see them go. I give this one a 6.
Okay. All right. I love the return of Nareem. Garwin does a great job. I love the idea of a civilization that's all big and powerful finally meeting their match and being toppled. Everyone did a great job, and the murder mystery kind of episode that is typically kind of slower is really comes together with the death of someone that the characters cared about in season 1. It's strong overall, and it moves the story forward. I give it a 5. Yep.
Nice.
Oh, pretty consistent across the board.
Pretty consistent. I think I was close to giving it a 7, but I was like, it's just under for me. So.
Well, I was going to give it a 7, and then I thought, no, but then we lose Nareem, and that makes me sad. So that loses the point for that.
But it's a lasting impact, so that's the one great thing.
All right.
So Anthony said it's a 5 from me. Oh, Ian, yeah. We do chevron ratings 1 through 7. No decimals. David will have an aneurysm. And
A brainism.
and yeah, and he'll scold you. Yeah, so 1 to 7, whatever floats your boat. You already said something, but just for the future reference. So Anthony gave it a 5. G and Diana gave it a 6. Jacob said 5. Candy Mitch said 5. Becca said 5. Becca and I are not on the same page for season 5. It's sad. We're falling apart, Becca. Gecko Fett. Oh, Anthony explained out of 7 chevrons. Thank you, Anthony. Gecko Fett, 7 out of 7. This episode always hits me in the feels. I love this episode. Dan Ben, 5. Sherman Victoria, 5. It's always makes me feel sad, frustrated, but other than that, it's great. Ian said, yeah, I agree. This is a 7 good episode, but there are better ones. Yeah. Is the
better
seven?
sevens.
Yes, Ian. Oh, Ian has changed it. Ian corrected, saying it's a 5
yes.
based on understanding that it's a 1 through 7 system. Thank you, Ian.
Yep.
Jed Ted, 5 chevrons. Rip Nareem and Tolana. And Urias Tosh gave it a 4.5. So we round that up to a 5 for Anthony's spreadsheet. And everyone's saying no halvesies. It will make David cry. David will be sad.
Cry?
Obviously not. I'm joking, but you'll cry inside from the pain, the suffering. All right. Shall we start?
I really want to get
2001.
like a Guernsey, like a jersey for David, just with like on the back just has a half, instead of like a full number.
Okay.
I want to get David a bunch of novelty shirts to wear when we hang out with him next, of just like chevron jokes. So I want his face when he's just sad and just like a half a chevron.
2001. You guys ready to roll?
Yes. Let's go.
The nice, cool conclusion to the Ashen arc.
Woo woo.
In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And Yvie.
Hello.
And this is 2001, season 5, episode 10. A nice tight flashback, brief flashback to 2010.
Yes.
This is an excellent episode.
I know. It's another fantastic Brad Wright episode, directed by Peter DeLuise. And straight off the bat, we actually have some reused footage from Touchstone. So you'll notice that there's an inconsistency in the weapons. So Sam and Jack switch from MP5s to P90s between shots. This is the reused footage. And also Daniel has longer hair.
I just noticed.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that at all.
Yep. I actually had both episodes running side by side so I could double check. And it's like 100% reused footage.
From what?
Wow.
From Touchstone.
Okay, wow. All right.
That is nuts.
I know. So Jack saying breaking out the fishing gear. So someone on Reddit praised this episode as a cleverly crafted prequel to 2010, as it sets up key plot points and reintroduces characters. And they noted the significance of small comments like Jack's comment about fishing.
Yep.
And Darren, during the Gate World podcast, mentions that in this episode, we witness a version of events that leads up to 2010. And the interesting twist is that we, as the audience, already know that the Ashen are villains.
It's such a good prequel, because it's a sequel prequel, which I'm not used to, because usually when you see a prequel,
like
it's different.
how these episodes were
I've never seen
placed.
TV go like this, because it shows some weird alternate future, and then it's like, here's how it could have gone, and then here's an alternate future of the past that would have led to the alternate future, and it's like, wow.
I saw 2001 before 2010. Unfortunately.
Whoa, that's
and so
upsetting.
when Carter goes, the Ashen, sir, they're called the Ashen. Then it fades to black.
And you're like, who's that?
No, I'm going to myself, oh, well, that must be bad.
Oh, you figured it out.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It must be important somehow.
Yeah,
by the way, who are they? They're called the such and such. Ooh, the such and such. Well, that must be a consequence to something. So you're not stupid as an audience member. It's like, okay,
No.
Yeah, true.
a dramatic
true.
setup.
It was dramatic setup. So this episode features returning guest stars Christopher Cousins as Joseph Faxon and Dion Luther as Mollum. So this is the last time Christopher appears in Stargate, but Dion will be back as Chief Archon the Asgard in Failsafe later this season.
Yep.
And we also have Ronnie Cox returning to play Senator Kinsey.
A lot of pieces are coming into play here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have different branches of the military in this scene.
Mm-hmm. And as we discovered in 2010, converting a gas giant, which Sam is just mentioning, into a makeshift sun is actually sort of a key part of the Ashen's master strategy.
Yep.
So it turns out that this is the next, this is the next phase in their plan, coming right after they attempt to sterilize the population.
Mad.
And he is clearly sweet for her.
Oh, he's making he's got love heart-shaped pupils.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I know
pupils.
David won't be able to hear this because he's got the sound off. But if you listen really carefully, you'll notice a faint cough echoing in the background during this briefing scene on more than one occasion.
Interesting.
Someone's got a tickle in their throat.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently this episode takes place about 7 months after 2010.
7, that's it. Okay.
I'm so excited. This episode isn't even that exciting. It's just us being like, guys, please realize before you wipe
You're just
yourself
waiting
out.
for them
catching up with
to
the
know as much as you
right,
do. Yeah,
exactly. So it isn't often that we have, all the information compared to
others. This is what I love about Stargate is that it may be like a sci-fi show, but there are so many episodes that are just its own genre to me.
Yeah.
There are shows that I watch, let's say The Vampire Diaries. Every episode is consistent. Teenage drama, the occasional makeout session, some violence, some vampires, done. Stargate, you just never know. This is crazy. It's awesome.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
So I came across a comment online from someone who really appreciated how this episode added depth to 2010. It's kind of like we've been given the missing first half of a book. And they pointed out how it shed light on Sam starting a relationship with the ambassador and Jack's early doubts about the Ashen.
Correct.
Which really helped connect the dots.
And his frustration with the ambassador because the ambassador's moved in and on any opportunity that he would ever have.
Yeah.
Someone turned the table sideways. I thought it was gone, but it was right there.
We're gonna lose another of Sam's love interests in
I know.
the same day.
Sure thing.
So I was gonna say, in 1.5 seasons, she's lost 4.
Oh Lord.
I think it's 4. Yeah.
I remember seeing some behind the scenes.
In a season and a half, we still had Martooth.
Yes.
So yeah, Martooth, Nareem, Orlin.
Yeah. And Joe.
And
twice.
Tim. Yep.
Because Joe's technically alternate timeline him died. I saw some behind the scenes with Martin Wood and Amanda Tapping where they were talking about how she's the Black Widow of Stargate, and then she they were doing it was for the episode The Other Guys in season 6, and then she jokingly says that every time she kisses someone they die, and said that the guy from The Other Guys was needed to die, and then she kisses Martin Wood and goes, now you die, and then kisses him and pretends to die.
Okay, so
really
I made a little bit of a joke, but this is probably one that only David would get.
Seinfeld, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is. So Joey's going to put the moves on Sam.
You stopped short. You never stop short with me. Nice time lapse there. I do love that the use of the star map was so that, we're actually using this pattern over here, this circular pattern. The Volian system is right in dead center of that. How cool is that we've been waiting for this shot to use that line of circles.
Speaking of shots.
This one
is
great
brilliant.
It's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect.
Very memeable.
Yeah. It's very like it just shows SG-1's chemistry again. It's just like they get it. They're like, ew, why are you wearing the shoes?
But like also like let the man express himself. Like to paraphrase the words of fashion icon Iris Apfel, dress for your own joy. Choose an outfit that proudly announces, "Here I am."
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
The
Anyway.
way that Michael Shucks keeps leaning over, like he's leaned over
Yes.
another time.
No one bothered to tell him that this is a farm planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Junior said, "Is this the episode where Walt has tummy problems and everyone's going tummy
Yes, it
problems?"
is.
Or what?
It is. I'll point it out later.
Walter has tummy problems?
Yeah, I'll point it out later. It's
Okay.
actually kind of funny. It's in the background.
Okay.
So, someone on Reddit expressed their like general dislike for the repeated visual depiction of travel through the Stargate. They sort of found it silly and unnecessary. However, they praised the use of the camera on the ambassador before he entered the gate and upon his arrival.
Mm-hmm.
So they also complimented the Stargate franchise for effectively conveying the wonder of gate travel for first-time travelers.
Yep.
It's a great shot.
Yeah, it is a great shot.
Love
You
it.
don't often see that kind of a
No.
And he kind of like continues to be amazed for like several seconds afterwards, which is really kind
The
of
worst
cute.
CGI gate I've ever seen, but
Oh, it's not that bad.
it's pretty bad. I don't like it. Looking at it makes me upset. Look how
Well,
happy
we
he
can't
is. He's
have
so
that.
cute. I didn't like Joe, and now I do. Just like Kansas.
Turns out you are.
Except for the flying hovercraft.
Yes, well, I actually have a theory about that. So I saw a discussion online, and the theory was that the ship in Grace might be from the Ashen homeworld because it looks similar to their tech.
It could be an Ashen
So-
ship, yeah.
Yeah, they thought that this would explain why the ship attacked Prometheus, plus the ship's eventual decision to follow Carter's guidance out of the gas
Interesting.
cloud would be indicative of the Ashen's like characteristic lack of originality and problem solving.
Oh, okay.
So, and I actually brought up a picture of the ship from Grace and did compare it to a couple of shots of the Harvester, and there are definitely some similarities.
The color scheme is different, but yeah, there's the
It's more like
it's the lack of angles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ian said, "Where are we at? The harvester is putting wheat through a gate." Like,
Yeah.
and that's where we're
Well,
at.
that's
Yes,
why I've got the
he had
time
some
code.
lag-
I've
he
got
had
the
some
time
lag
code up on
problems.
the screen there, so you can.
I think he's UK, not NTSC.
Okay.
Hey, it's boring.
I know his
He's
name.
the
He's
replicator
boring. He sure
from
is.
season 5 of Atlantis. Now, thank you.
Yes, I was gonna say I ran out of time to do his I had like a little spiel on him. So yeah, he does play I think Coruscant is the
Yes,
name
that's
of
correct.
the Asuran scientist. So he recently actually has been in 4 episodes of Resident Alien
Oh.
and 3 episodes of Riverdale. So in Riverdale, he actually appeared alongside Tom
dare you.
Macbeth in the
Hmm.
season 5 episode Dance of Death. Additionally, he actually does work or did work with Michael Shanks in the TV miniseries Unspeakable, and he appeared in like half the episodes. So
Riverdale became really garbage. It was good teenage stuff, and then it became really bad. But Tom was like the one great thing about that show.
Wow.
yes,
okay.
because he's like a solid actor.
Yeah. He was a really nice doorman, and he'd always be a good guy and a good voice of reason.
7 months ago. There we go.
Oh, this is such a good moment.
It is. And then they're trying to like figure out if it's the
Narrow
Get
it
sent
down.
to 3 other
That's it.
planets, make sure. Oh,
spicy
panic he's
spicy.
experiencing.
Yep.
The ship
He
in
might need
Grace
some of
has been
that,
mentioned in novels, and it was not the same species, according to Dan Ben. The novels are tertiary canon, but I'll go with it.
I love the way he's like, this guy's going to be like, we got iron root in our
Yeah.
ground.
Yes.
that dang iron root.
yes.
And it's like, what? And it's like, oh, it's steel bars from buildings. Lovely.
Jacob Olahar's Unspeakable has half the SG cast. Great miniseries. Yes, Robert Cooper, Unspeakable. Very, very good.
Yeah, because they annihilated your whole species and took your stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Teal'c's all smiley. He's like, oh, this is pleasant. Oh, good. Oh, I love freedom. He loves freedom. It's all he wants for his people.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Oh, I love that they're like, huh? Iron root.
Yeah.
How are you going to help? You don't have like, a forklift or a tractor or
Yeah,
something?
he said that they could use his staff weapon.
It's a really good thing that Keel had iron root. Otherwise, things may have really shaped up really differently for Earth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that Daniel's like, yeah, let's go help. I hope that Daniel was like a bit sus anyway. Like he's like,
I
offering to
think he
help, but I
was
hope
sus. I think he was just, yeah,
he's like,
just
my archaeologist
piecing
brain.
things together, and
I
his
must
spidey
investigate.
senses were tingling.
Yeah.
I do not like the word sus. I do
I'm
not like the
sorry,
word
David.
aggro. I do not like these words. Just say what you mean. Oh, there he is.
So
Dion
we meet
Luther.
you
He's
again,
so
Chief
evil.
Archon. I mean Mollum.
Mullum and boring.
Melon.
So I love his reaction to like
Boring
shaking
melons.
hands with the ambassador. So it's like kind of my reaction when somebody extends their hand in greeting and they know they didn't wash after they flushed.
Oh,
This is not the last time we see these keyboards.
there is a toilet. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. How do you go flush? Well, let's find out.
Just wash your hands, Jack. No, he wants to check out the Harvester penthouse views.
This is a cool shot.
Yep.
It's not bad.
I mean, it doesn't look. It looks like they're just zooming in.
It's
on
green.
a
It's
static
100%
shot.
Oh
green
yeah,
screen,
not
but it's
that
not too
part.
bad.
The
Yeah,
part
but-
when he stepped out, I really liked.
Yeah, exactly.
This
But
part I
that
don't.
one looks like there's no depth of
No.
field change. So I've always had a beef with that shot.
It's no, the storm in the eye. Beautiful episode. I can't wait. Oh, the
the
green screen
one
is so
time
good.
in 5 seasons that it rained on a city that exists on the water where it rains all
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
So, ooh, iron root. Yes. Dandelions.
But I want it noted that the reason I shorten my words so much is just in case someone else wants to jump in and say something else. I
Really?
wanna
Is
be
that the only?
snippy.
That is awfully considerate of you.
Jesus, David! Christ, I'm getting roasted.
Do you guys think sweet water is like Gatorade?
Oh, I hope it is.
Mm.
I hope it is.
I've
The
never
Gatorade.
considered what it might be.
I love Gatorade. We don't really have it here, so
You don't have
whenever-
Gatorade.
You don't have Gatorade?
Really?
We have Powerade, and then we
Okay.
have imported American Gatorade if you're lucky to find it.
Oh,
Which is why
so
when I was
it's-
in
Okay.
We have-
Canada, I was inhaling it. So
Wow. Yeah.
We have Powerade, and I think we might have Gatorade as well. And we have something called Staminade, which I think might be the Australian version.
This
remember
is a
I was,
good scene, despite the fact that we know what's coming.
yes,
It's like, what would it look like for
we're
us to
still
really
kinda
negotiate?
hopeful. We're still kind of like, like we know what the outcome is, but maybe it'll be different.
Maybe
you
it'll
know?
be different than the other side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we can't fully disclose it. We can fully disclose what we've figured out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. In my fear of heights, I would not climb down this hole.
I have climbed ladders like 3 times taller than that, and
Oh.
it sucks.
I'll be, like,
climbed
clinging
one
to
as
Yvie.
a child. There's a tree called I think it's called the Gloucester tree, and it's in a town called Pemberton in WA, and it's a very tall tree. I don't know how tall it is, but there was just sort of
you can climb it.
you used to be able to climb it, but they stopped
like
allowing
lawsuits.
people to have access to it because of the dangers. But I did climb it as a kid, and I had they gave me like a little certificate, like a
Wow.
certificate of completion. It was
You
really
can't
cute.
climb the pyramids either anymore. But that used to be a thing.
So my biggest problem with this episode is simply, so Daniel brought up a really good point there. So he's like, Teal'c's like, oh yeah, they've gone like, they've been like destroyed. And he's like, no, not destroyed, more like extinct.
Yeah.
But isn't it a really fast extinction period where they went out? Like, how do the future generations not remember any of that? The remaining people.
Well,
Maybe
they raised
bring...
them. They,
yeah,
I mean, here's the thing.
I think they brainwash them.
Well,
with
Sam said it in the
words.
previous episode. This race has the ability to grow stars. You think they couldn't control the media if they wanted to?
No,
So
that's fair, actually.
They're an amazing race. They just happen to also be amazingly evil.
Very controlling.
So yeah.
So
they're so boring. You wouldn't expect the evil.
Right. That's a part of it. Yeah. You don't anticipate that.
Someone on Reddit recalled how watching 2010 for the first time in 2009 felt like a peek into the near future, and joked that the actual year 2010 was less exciting than the show. And then somebody responded as the year 2020 and said, "Hold my beer."
Right, exactly. Yeah. Man, oh man. There were a few things that 2010 did get right. Daniel's glasses were in style then. So, like, little things like that were...
Don S. Davis passing away from a heart attack. May you rest in peace.
Yeah,
I
that's true,
know.
too.
That was just awful.
That was a
like
little
an
creepy.
awful premonition.
That was a very strange premonition, yeah. Teal'c's like glass half full. Daniel's glass half empty.
He's
right
trying.
now. He's really trying. He's like, look at all the freedom.
Because he knows how important it would be to befriend, like a civilization like the Ashen for, his...
But if they get entrenched,
his cause, basically. But yeah.
I love that in order to, like, I'm assuming budgetary reasons, save some money, that you don't really see them go in and explore everything properly.
Right.
They just have that moment in a minute where they cut back to, like, we're not doing that again.
I think
with
they
all the
did
paperwork.
concept art for it, but they were just like, no, maybe not.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like they just grab some scrolls and then sprint out, and then it's like good enough. I enjoy it.
So this guy in the middle is Rob Lee as Major Pierce. So this is actually his 4th of 8 appearances in Stargate. And his debut was in The Torment of Tantalus, where he portrayed one of the scientists in the 1945 archival film footage.
Interesting. Look at you. Too cool for school.
I love that episode.
I know.
Yep.
That's a 7.
I love that he's at home doing this while
he's
like,
working
SG-1 are off world, and they don't really have much of an idea yet. Daniel's getting a bit sus, but that's it. While like General Hammond's working overtime, stressing out at home, to being like, damn, we're screwed.
Stressing out at home, yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, so in 2010, Teal'c says that not many Jafar are on Earth's side after a war. So it's likely that in that alternate future, this weapon was used to wipe out the symbiote and unfortunately the Jafar too. So
well, the symbiotes that the Jafar were carrying.
Bad blood. Yeah. So it would seem like Earth was kind of okay with committing genocide to take out the Goa'ulds, but I mean that would have been the Ashen more.
The Ashen did,
I
think the Ashen just kind of took over and fought our war for us, and so that's why very few Jaffa remain loyal to the Tau'ri since the war's end. So
Ian made a joke saying sometime it falls short, and I don't know what the joke was about. And he said, "I thought that was a good joke, not a single hit." Ian, please explain the joke so we can laugh.
We do love a good joke.
Yeah, Yvie does them, and they go right over our heads sometimes. So, Jean Diarda,
because we're all talking at the same time.
Yeah, Sweetwater, aka Switchel, is water molasses or molasses. Is it molasses? Is that how you guys say it? Because we don't really have that here. Cider vinegar and ginger kept cool in systems or wells. Was a popular drink of farmers in the colonial days. There we go.
Oh, I like that. Okay, cool. Like a bit of history.
I like it because we've seen this episode so many times. We focus on like really weird side stuff.
That's
yeah. Sweetwater.
This is not for anyone who's watching the show for the first time. It's
we are taking these apart in fun and new ways.
And putting them back together. mostly.
Yeah.
So Sam was explaining before why Earth hasn't been given any defense technology from their allies.
Yeah.
So someone online really liked the Ashen story because it made them think twice about trusting aliens who give away their tech too easily.
Yep.
So they thought it showed that maybe our allies who didn't share their tech were actually trying to protect us. So another person compared this to the Tolan, who kept their technology a secret, but then had a hidden reason when they did share it. So they mentioned that the best allies are careful not to give powerful tech to societies that aren't ready for it. So apparently, to translate these newspapers, you replace each letter with the one before it in the alphabet. So apparently, this is similar to how the name Hal from the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey shifts to IBM. So the newspaper's name is the Volian Voice. Apparently, if
It
you follow
is.
that.
Wow. And what's the headline? Ashen.
Well, I mean the headline they translate later on, the one with the sterility.
But does
I'm not
the
sure about
font
this
substitution
headline.
still work? Oh,
I think so, yeah.
The Volian Voice. I did not know
The
that.
Volian Voice.
Did you discover this yourself, or did you find this out?
I did my research.
There
yeah,
we go.
I found it out. Yeah.
So you didn't decode it.
I didn't decode it myself. No, I'll admit. So you probably lost just a little bit of respect for me.
No, you're researching.
Yeah, I've got 0 research, so 100 respect to Yvie.
Yeah, they also want to get to know everyone we know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ones who aren't blown up. Yeah, you smarmy folk. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
I don't know. I was gonna say that like collaboration and cooperation has never sounded so creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the Urondans looked more sympathetic. They were at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
SG-1 and getting new technology, it comes into play about just as frequently as Voyager getting teased a route home in that series.
Aw. See that line? I look forward to our future together.
Mm-hmm.
Now picture that line in the context of an Ashen marriage proposal.
Oh boy.
No thanks.
Or a Seinfeld reference, barring any unforeseen circumstances. I look forward to our future together.
Yes.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
And he
we'll
just
got
gets
that feeling.
dismissed. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that Sam's also kind of like feeling it, but Joe, he's not been in the situation like this much with alien species, so it's like, eh.
It's starting to happen again.
Ian said it was a toilet joke, and he explained it, and yes, it was bad.
Vaccine.
God. I don't want to start going into all the vaccine
No, we are not.
things. We're not doing that.
No.
Oh, Tilk's still trying to
He's
find
trying to,
the light.
Uh-huh. Well, he's illuminating other
Yeah.
possibilities. So there's
he's trying to be like, you know, the good middle, trying to like balance it out a bit. I actually need to go into the doctors for some vaccines at some point soon, so I'm excited to get my shots. So
I had 2 on the weekend. I was wiped out on Saturday.
yeah. Yeah, make sure you're not carrying all that space flu. 2
Two
L's.
L's.
2
Yeah, 2
L's.
L's. Funko Pops. Oh god, doing that in front of Jack, in front of his salad.
I know.
This is her commanding officer. They can't possibly be together.
Look at the little smirk he did, and he's like,
I know. The raised eyebrows.
yeah. Hammond is like, hey, I got some bad news.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've been working the problem on my end.
So when Jack and Sam are in the control room. If you take a glance behind Hammond, you'll spot Walter cradling a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Yes.
So it was
I need to drink
obviously
that
a
more.
rough day on set.
Yeah.
I see Walter's head.
Yeah, you'll see it in a
Waiting
second.
for the
It's a very pink bottle.
When I first started developing my IBS, I was
There he is.
chugging Pepto-Bismol.
Can you
a
see?
He
lot.
sure
Yeah.
is. Why does he have that?
That stuff is nasty.
It's very
Love it.
creamy.
So we don't have that sort of stuff here, I don't think, or I haven't tried it myself. We just have these these
you're
horrible
miserable, it's
chewy
really great.
tablets.
Yeah.
Well, we have these chewy kind of, I don't even know how to
Oh, we have
describe it. It's an
both.
awful. It tastes like chalk.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like a chalky texture, and I hate the flavor, but they work really well.
I was thinking about that one episode where Ross was like really like stressed out, so he starts just chugging Pepto-Bismol in friends. And
I'm
like, that's
just
me.
now noticing Carlos Fish. Hello, Carlos Fish.
Carlos Fish.
It's a friend of mine.
That's a fun name to say.
They said I love toilet jokes. I am one, and
Yeah,
I
that
said
sounds
me
about
too.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
I have
you get along
so
great with
I'm always a
Nicole.
toilet joke. Yeah.
So Carlos Fish, I met at San Diego Comic Con years ago, and
Oh,
we're tight.
Hey,
He
you
lives
going
down the
again,
road from me here.
Carlos?
oh,
No,
really?
he lives
Oh,
down the
that's-
road from me here in Nashville.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's cool.
It's always nice when people you meet live nearby.
Well, he was originally, yeah. Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
they are rioting. They are not happy folk.
Mhm.
Now I don't know how they took these horrible, decayed papers and made such clear images on the screens back at SGC, but they do.
I agree. Yes, I picked that up too.
Yeah.
I love that. They're like, we're wondering, I was like, where?
I don't know, like I have an app on my phone called Tiny Scanner, and it kind of does something similar to that, but I meant this is current technology. This is 2001, so
Yeah.
I don't know how they were able to do that.
Ooh.
Duh,
You're right.
duh.
Dun, dun, dun,
I hope
indeed.
they're not monitoring our transmissions. Otherwise, we are
Yes.
never
Oh,
going
yeah.
home. Yeah, look at how clear that is.
Right, I never
It is
even
very
thought
clear.
about that,
It's
Yvie.
not even like a little bit aged or wrinkly.
Oh, by the
or
way, there was a
anything like that.
USB stick hidden underneath the papers in the tube. Here are the files. It's just too clear. That doesn't work. It sure is. The Volian voice, yeah.
Yep.
Well done. Yeah, vaccine is the first word. Gee.
Oh boy. No.
Vaccine from... Newcomers is the second word, yeah.
So the siphon's working.
Yeah, the cipher is working. Vaccine from newcomers was the first line. Yeah.
Sterility.
Yeah, sterility is the word right there. That's it. Those little production tricks. So
I know.
cute.
It's very, very cool. Simple but effective.
Simple but effective. You hide it just enough so that fans can unhide it.
It's so this is so frustrating that Jack's gonna try and go all the way there to try and
I know.
save the world.
Robert
essentially.
Kinsey's gonna
Well,
cock block him.
Yeah,
Oh, exactly. So the driver's voice is actually Peter DeLuise.
Really?
Yeah.
Is
It's
that
not
his
face,
cameo for this
though.
episode?
It is his cameo for this episode. Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, that's definitely him.
Interesting.
I beg your pardon. Yeah, your best friend's about to get in the car.
But we only see it from Jack's perspective, which is hilarious.
Yeah, he just like the bitterness is beginning. He's like, oh, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
exactly.
Colonel Starsky.
So,
Great nod.
Where's Hutch?
yep. Chain reaction.
And I had not seen that episode, so I'm like, what is he talking about?
Shoot him. Rude.
So
God, I hate it.
smarmy.
The way he just starts drinking immediately, like, bruh, don't drink on the job.
It looks like
It looks like a
tea.
very, I know,
Yeah.
it's very watered down to be a
Yeah.
alcoholic beverage. Doesn't look very strong.
Not anymore, you don't.
Such
Oh,
a
boy.
party pooper.
Honestly. He's gone all the way there just to have to turn all. I'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, right, screw you, I'm going sightseeing. I came all the way here. No. What a
so
douche.
despicable.
Oh, it's so funny.
He's really funny. He's so detestable. I love it.
It's a
really
great
is.
performance.
Want him to die so badly.
Well, everyone can relate to politicians. Everyone.
Well, that's
can.
it. Yeah. Well, I was going to
So,
say that someone online
bureaucrats.
drew parallels between the themes of this episode and those in shows like West Wing and House of Cards, where both explore like the idea of corrupt politicians. And they characterize Kinsey as self-motivated, determined, and self-centered, noting that he's shocked when he's not the focus of a situation. And they also mentioned that Kinsey actively tries to squash what he sees as competition and tends to hold lifelong grudges against his enemies. I think it's very true.
I think House of Cards is not a real characterization. I think it's more like Veep, where these are first order thinkers. Well, if I do this, then I
Right,
do this.
yeah.
Well, then
Yeah.
what? Well, I'm not thinking past that. So
I hate this guy.
okay. But the thing,
just
even
so
Robert Cooper
blinded.
has said, putting his agenda aside, he's not wrong. So,
Yeah, I know,
he
I
doesn't. They are risking Earth every time they go through. And there's
It's true.
Emmett Bregman says
you're
later,
right.
there's always a
Ugh.
chance every time they do this, something could go cataclysmically wrong.
Absolutely.
I mean, they freaking sucked us into a black hole almost.
That's true. It's
They-
true, but I
they-
don't want him to be
oopsie.
right.
Yeah.
Of course. Absolutely. But there may be an argument between Kinsey's and Jack's.
It's like when, and I'm always going to bring up, sorry, I'm eating M&Ms, I wanted to say that. It's like when Admiral Kane comes in Battlestar Galactica in Pegasus, where it's like, I want to slap her so much, but she's right.
Well, that
You know?
and,
Yeah, I
and
know.
Thrace Starbuck mentions that in the end. Maybe we were safer with her than without,
Yeah.
despite all the
She wasn't
civilian
always right, but
executions.
there was some moments where
Correct.
she was correct, and it was
That's
like,
it.
God damn it.
They couldn't
So
have
I-
destroyed the Cylon fleet without the two
Yeah.
ships. They could have done it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like internally, Jack is saying like the fact is, if it wasn't for SG-1, right now you'd be sitting with a snake in your head instead of a head up your.
ass. Yeah, head up your ass. Yeah, that's right. That was a fast plane ride.
Oh, yeah.
Very. If only my plane ride was that quick to San Diego.
Oh, poor Yvie.
Oh, jeez.
You suffer every
Next
time you fly.
month, San Diego.
I know. It's coming up so quickly.
I know. Don't tell me. I've got a lot to plan for
I like that we
darn-
reunite
Bet you
every
do.
few years. It's really
And
nice.
it feels so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
And then by the end, we're all sick of each other. Want to go
That's
home.
how these things go. And some of us cry because of exhaustion. And I
Evie
can't
and
blame
I.
them.
Me.
I actually cried, David, the day before we did all the stuff that we were doing. I just did it without you there, and Adam and Evie were trying to get me to calm down, and then the next day Evie cried. So
The sub that was used in 2001 or in 2001 in Small Victories, wasn't that sub in San Diego?
It was at some stage. I don't know if it's still
I
there.
wonder if it's still
yeah,
there. I wonder if we
I
could
think
like do some
you
kind
did
of a
say
first
That would be
Stargate
amazing.
location series. That would
Yeah.
be really cool.
That would be amazing.
So,
the old monitors.
Yep, absolutely. And old cutscenes from the film.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, future president of nothing, because that's not happening anymore. You're the worst. I love that even Walter is like
Yeah,
rolling his eyes
absolutely.
and sighing.
Yep.
He's
yep.
so
He's
done.
done with it.
God, stop the flirting. It's so cute.
I know.
I used to
Focus on
dislike
the
him,
task.
but now I'm like, oh, you are
I've
adorable.
always loved Christopher Cousins. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great in Breaking Bad. He's great in this.
He is great in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember last episode in 2010, I was like annoyed at him for like gaslighting Sam, but this time he hasn't done that yet, so I'm not mad at him at this time. So
I don't dislike him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at that point, he's 10 years into a system that has completely eaten him alive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, true.
We didn't live that life. The first one being a black hole.
Yeah, they get bad. They get what? Black after that, dark after that.
Yeah, they get increasingly
Dark after that.
Yeah.
Or something. Or darker after that. Or something like that.
We'll get there.
There we go.
By the way, can you translate this piece of paper?
Yeah.
So someone on Reddit called Mollum's expression his bruh face. Like, oh, bruh. Like this cheer. When he looks at him, he turns and looks at him.
Yeah, he's like, shush, bruh, you ruined it.
Oh.
Boring is so boring, he doesn't even realize what he's done.
Oh my god. So I think during the Gate Worlds podcast, David, you mentioned that the entire plot unravels with that one pivotal word, sterility.
Yeah.
Against their will? How is that a treaty?
Yeah.
I love his decisive snap of the laptop.
The laptop?
Yeah.
That's how I end my meetings that have gone badly. Little decisive snap.
He's probably still a POW.
Mm.
If he wasn't sent back to the Ashen planet to get slurped through the black hole like everyone else was.
Ian said the bad guy from Demons, the main religious guy there, he's also in the Island episode where like they're giving people away to the Wraith prisoners in Atlantis.
Yes.
Is a great bad guy. He was also in Schitt's Creek and I think American Gods. I love him because every time I see him, I'm like, I know you're going to be the worst.
Alan
And
Peterson.
he always is. Yeah, he's
AC
so good at
Peterson.
being
Oh,
bad.
that guy, yeah.
He has agreed to an interview, and we are waiting. I'm waiting for a
Scoop.
date.
Wow.
He's a great bad guy.
He is. He just has the right vibe. I love him.
USS Alexandria is assigned to Submarine Squadron 11 in San Diego, California. I'd love to get some footage of it because we could do a Stargate Locations episode.
We could. That would be amazing.
And I could write the trip off on my taxes.
Oh,
actually, I'm going to already.
I could.
I'm going to already because of Dial the Gate. But yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I wish I could. This is such an epic moment.
It sure is. I love it.
Just gotta be careful of that kawoosh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's pretty close.
She's awfully close.
Yeah, that would
close.
That would
but
totally
I think
kill
she
her.
kind of almost had to be.
Yeah.
You know, last time the puddle was just over the grain drop, but now it's in a perfect position for her.
The way the boring just takes it
onto the Stargate. He sure does.
She could have. Yeah.
The way the boring's
He
just
just
standing
took
there
it.
like, huh? And he
Absolutely.
just gets completely bowled over. But then he fights back, which is like, oh, I didn't know you had it in
He
you, boring.
does. So there is a bit of a continuity error between shots. So when Sam cuts the rope and falls into the Stargate, she comes out on the other side flying backwards. But then in the next shot, we see her doing a front roll, which means she's like facing away from the gate.
I think she went side. Like, boring's flying back.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is such a cool moment. Oh, I love it. David, the music, you're really missing out.
Oh, I love Joel's. I can hear it. I know it's playing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Such an action moment. I like they're all just standing there like, oh, hey, how'd it go?
I know.
So she went sideways there a bit in order to do that.
Yeah. Collarbone. Ugh. Ouch.
Yep. And I love that none of them reached out to help her.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just
there.
standing there like, hey.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Kinsey's so mad.
Oh, I still.
Shut up. That is another cock block dead. Sam's Black Widowed them again.
Black Widow strikes again.
You run.
There's always an
Investigate.
investigation.
Keep me posted. Keep me
Two
apprised.
Keep me apprised.
I
Two
love
Ls.
his read between the lines.
Yeah, the trying the lines.
So
Exactly. When that aired, I didn't know what that meant.
Oh,
And then
no,
was
I
like,
think I got it the first
okay,
time.
yeah.
So
look at him smiling.
the story of this episode does continue in the Stargate SG-1 relativity novel.
Yes.
So it tells us that a black hole destroyed the Ashen's main planet and killed Mollum. So some Ashen, including Mollum's wife Miras, survived and tried to attack Earth with a new bioweapon. So in an alternate future where Earth is in ruins, SG-1 works with future O'Neill and his daughter Jade to stop the Ashen and save Earth again. And this idea sort of aligns with Brad Wright's concept for another Ashen-centric episode titled Judgment. The plot was intended to depict the Ashen suffering significant losses after exploring the planets provided by SG-1, prompting them to seek retribution against Earth.
Via the Asgard. The Asgard put us on trial for wiping out most of the Ashen from a black hole. No, it didn't go that. It didn't go that far into detail.
Oh, that's a cool idea, though. The Asgard doing that. Yep. That's kind of that's.
So they adapted it later for the trial episode in season 5 of SGA, which I did not care for. So.
Yeah.
So Joe Malozzi commented on Faxon's situation, stating that he isn't dead but trapped off-world because he believed the Ashen wouldn't kill him since they're not a violent race.
Yeah, that was 2001.
Never leave man behind, supposedly.
Thanks for watching.
We leave plenty of people behind. So whenever Jack says that, I'm like, oh, shush.
Yeah.
We don't want to,
We don't want
but sometimes
to, but it's just not true. They're often our casualties in that regard.
So there was one note that I didn't get to say really speedily at the end. Someone on Reddit theorized that the Shen likely didn't use their own Stargate to dial the new addresses, but instead used the one on Volia. So this would mean that an
we
entire
wiped out the
planet of
Volians.
Farmers met their ends as the result of SG-1's quest for revenge.
Is that what happens in Relativity? Did we wipe out Volius?
I don't know. I don't know about that bit.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's kind of... I think it makes sense. That's sort of sad.
Gene Diotta, David, you can put in an application to tour the sub at least 30 days in advance, assuming it's in port when you'll be there. That may be worth it if we could get a little bit of footage of it on like the outside.
That would
but
be
it's on
amazing.
a military base, and they're really secure about that kind of thing. I have toured an active nuclear sub.
I've been on 2 military
Pearl Harbor,
bases.
and it was amazing. Yeah, there you go.
My dad was married to an American, and he had loads of American friends, so we got to go on and eat all the American food.
There you go.
They didn't have to pay taxes, so they'd be like, "We're going to buy
correct.
food." I'd be like, yeah,
that's it. All right.
Becca said, "I've read Relativity. I wasn't impressed, and it's not one I've reread." I love that Becca reads the novels.
Okay.
Thank you, Becca.
Okay.
Very good.
So,
I want to start this one.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
I love this episode. I love the Ashen arc. I know there's a word on the street was that Rob Cooper did not care for the Ashen, but I really did.
I did.
I thought that they were great pasty villains. And, there's just something about, the sinister bad guys being just so
boring.
Accountants.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the planet of Colin Robinsons. Yeah.
I like that we're moving along with wrapping up a lot of these stories. 2010 was always one of my favorites, and it's not as good as 2010, but it's up there. And it's a fitting conclusion.
It's a 2-parter.
I would have preferred it to be part 2 of a 3-parter, but hey, I'll give it a 5. So Christopher Cousins is great. Ronnie Cox is great. And the story moves in a lot of different places. There's a lot of Earthbound stuff, a lot of, Daniel doing his thing. So everyone really pretty much had a part to play. So it's a 5 from me.
Yeah. I'll go next because I don't want to be influenced by Yvie. I said that so badly. Evie, I love you, darling. I did not mean that. Oh my goodness, no.
Darling.
Darling. Oh, darling. Oh, by the way, I said something really annoying the other day, and then Jeff was like, "I want a pretty pony now, Daddy." He'd made fun of me doing that thing.
It's not fair.
It's not fair, Daddy.
Daddy.
It's not fair. So, I was gonna say, Anthony, tell me what my rating was for 2010. No, don't. I need to stop relying on the two-parted thing. So I'd say this one not as good as 2010, obviously, because that one's just drama hits you so hard, and it's
a what if. It's a great what if.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this one's just a wrap up of the what if, because, and I'm really glad we got it, because if we didn't get payoff, that'd be annoying. The payoff isn't as interesting or as good, but it's still a damn good time. And yeah, I enjoy it. So I'm gonna give this a 5 as well.
Oh, okay. Well, we are going to be a trio of 5s because I don't like it as much as the previous episode, like Between Two Fires. And I think the fact that it is wrapping up like a storyline that we already know the conclusion to, if that makes sense. I don't think it is as good as the first episode. I think that one just sort of really threw you. You know, like you watch it and you're like, what is going on? You're just so discombobulated. Whereas, you know, we as the audience already know that the Ashen are bad folk.
Yes.
And we're just sort of waiting for SG-1 to catch up on that.
Right.
So there wasn't as much mystery, I guess, but I did like the ending and how they came about finding, like, kind of trapping the Ashen into admitting, sort of in a roundabout way, that they were actually responsible for the demise of that population. Just by that one word, I thought that was kind of clever. So I think a 5 is fitting. Yeah.
Yeah, if only
fives.
more Boren his brain couldn't have moved faster. And could you tell this word to me? Of course. Great joy. Then it would have been chitons for Earth.
Yeah, they would have been like, oh, everything's gonna be good. Oh dear.
Would have been funny if he sort of dove on Sam when she goes, "Can you translate this?" And you just sort of see it in slow motion where he's like, "No."
The look that he gives Mullen is one of the better looks in the show. It's like,
honestly, I biffed it. I
totally did it. I just soiled myself. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So ratings are Jacob, 5 chevrons. I like it nearly as much as 2010, but it's a bit more boring. Stupid jokes. Oh, dude, I like that Jack made it, and it just keeps. It does. The way that Jack did that, and that everyone forever is just that poor actor.
His name.
Yeah, at least we know his name. It's boring.
Look up the actor and have him on. I have not pursued him yet. I'm going to start that.
Boring.
Right now.
We need boring on the show. Your show. Lockwatcher said a very large planet with. Besides the Ashen, only one inhabitant, a farmer. Yeah, it was a bit funny, isn't it? That you see one farmer and that's it. I did wonder.
That's the problem with the budget of the show. You know, you only see the immediate people around the gate and assume that there's a whole planet. Yeah.
Anthony said there's another 5 from me. Gene Diardo, without hesitation, this is a 7. The 2-part story is just peak sci-fi and great SG-1. Yeah. I'd say as a 2-part, I'd give it I think I'd balance it and give it a 6 because Anthony did confirm after that I gave 2010 a 7. So middle would be 6.
Yeah.
Candy Mitch said 6. Becca said 6. Lockwatcher, I had to give this a 7. Close out an episode that did not even need it, but it worked. Kinsey's just as expected, the perfect bad guy. Epic scene with Carter dropping, hard to beat. Yes. Gecko Fett, 5 out of 7. Ian wasn't one of my faves, but it is mid. Love it, mid. Maybe a 4. What would you give 2010, Ian? Just wondering. Shimmering Victoria. 5 chevrons. It's always nice when they wrap things up. I prefer 2010. Yeah, I think we all kind of do. Also, side note, I couldn't watch the ending because my dog decided she wanted to go for a walk in the pouring rain.
Oh,
the dog told you that, huh? Wow.
The dog was like, "Take me out." Jed Ted, 6 chevrons. Jacob, what are you referring to with the "I want a pretty pony now, Daddy" quotes?
Okay, so that goes back to one of the trivia games that we did on Dial the Gate a few months back, where I got fed up with Nicole saying with one of my rulings on one of the game mechanics.
Yeah, because it was
not
unfair.
And so I started going, it's not fair.
It's not, and then I was like, I want to put your phone in
she
now,
tied it
Daddy.
with Willy Wonka, which I didn't do. And
Yeah.
then, so it's been a thing ever since.
Like, I just when fun is being made of me, I double down and just join in the joke, because if you're not having fun, then that's just bad.
That's it.
So
That's true. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
one of the things that characterize, as far as I'm concerned, a person of good character is their ability to roll with the punches. And
Yeah.
Nicole
Thank
does
you,
that
David.
with aplomb.
I did something the other day as well. Did you see that with Alan? Alan was like talking about the woman who played young, both hot, but young Destroyer of Worlds. And then he was
Yes.
like, oh, that beautiful person. And I was like, thanks, Alan.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
That was so good.
Oh, gosh.
I love that.
That's
and he's like,
funny.
not you. And I was like, oh,
Not you.
Yeah, I just love it. Anthony said you gave 2010 a 7, Nicole. Thank you. Yes, I did.
That's
Shimmering
about
Toy,
right.
very cold and wet. Lockhart said I sound like Veruca Salt. That was the idea.
That's the point.
Yeah, Anthony said that Evie and David also gave 2010 a 7. Look at us, unanimous decisions.
It's a
across the
great
two parties.
episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is a fantastic episode.
Shimmering Victoria, we're listening to a cozy podcast in the rain. We're cozy, guys.
Yeah. There you
Ian
go.
said that he gave 2010 a 7 at the time. If he was here. Dan Ben said 4, good episode, and Ian's changed 2010 to a 5. Lockwatch said you are very fun, thank you. And then Lockwatch said Veruca Nicole, I want a Stargate now, Daddy. I want a Stargate now, Daddy.
Yes.
I do. I did.
funny.
love
I
that.
basically said that to my dad growing up. I'd be like, I want my Stargate DVD collections now, Daddy. I haven't seen all the episodes, and then he provided. So good job, Dad.
Well done.
On my 16th birthday, I was weeping. So, good day for
Weeping?
me. He got me the whole box set. I'd never had the whole box set and to be able to watch. So,
The
like,
whole
so I've
show
only
was
missed
done by
some
the time you were
episodes.
6. I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was 2014, and so my dad got me the whole box set, and I sat there and
Aw.
had a good cry. There's a photo of it on Facebook somewhere. I'll whip it up to
I
embarrass
would love to
myself
see
with.
it.
Please
Yeah.
do.
I'll
If
give
only
it to you
see
for ammunition.
Adorbs.
The European edition of the complete series.
He sent it to Alexis Cruz that day as well, and it's just me going like this. So, you know,
ugly crying.
it's all I had. My dad and I stayed up till like 5 a.m. watching Stargate,
what
and
you
I
did.
didn't go to
Yeah.
school the next day. My dad was like, "You're not going to school." I was like, "No."
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that
Oh,
would have not
wow.
flown over in my house. You get your ass
Exactly,
to bed.
me too.
So you
It
can
was
get your
into
ass
bed
to
by
school.
like 7 or 8
Yeah.
p.m. and then
My
you
dad would
had to
come
be-
in-
had to be in school.
At like 5 a.m. with a whiskey, and he's still up doing stuff, watching TV or something, and I'd be playing like Peggle, and he'd be like, "Hey, you still up?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You want to watch Buffy?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then he'd be like, "I'll call school, tell them you're not going in." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad."
Wow.
Yeah,
Liberal.
And look at the
Yeah.
amazing person you've become.
I feel
I
sarcasm.
don't know if that was sarcasm or not.
I'm a whole mixed bag, but yeah, my mum and my
Mixed bag.
grandmother were not happy, but as long as,
Yeah.
you know, my dad was calling in, what can they do? So,
Oh, I don't know.
all right, well, funsies. What we got next
Okay.
week, guys?
We have coming up next
Wait,
week.
I should know that.
Next
It
week on
is
Stargate SG-1
on
Wormhole
Stargate
Extremes.
SG-1. Yeah, we have Desperate
We have
Measures
Wormhole Extreme.
and Wormhole Extreme. So our namesake. Yes.
Namesake episode.
That's absolutely
finally.
right. I am going to be having on Saturday, June 15th, Anne-Marie DeLuise and Peter DeLuise,
Yes.
Woo!
along with Armin Shimmerman.
What a
That
good
is gonna be
By
a
the time I
fun
get to you
time.
guys, yeah, we'll have.
You'll
caught
be
up with-
tired.
Well, that will be the
Yes.
next day. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, all is well.
You're not
But
going to be
yeah.
able to get a word in edgewise with Peter and Anne Marie.
I hope to wind them up and let them go.
Yeah.
So
It is nice. I talk a lot, but I do love situations where I can just sit back and go, oh, yes.
I've only been with them together like really briefly, but like while he was on stage giving like certain talking points during GateCon, she was in the
Yes.
audience correcting him. So she was keeping him in a
what a
straight line.
married
So
couple.
I'm gonna be
I
it's
love
gonna be
that.
interesting to see them sitting down next to each other because I think it's gonna be a lot of that where he's gonna give some things and she's like, no, you're getting this. It's wrong. You're mixing this up. It's this and that. So
Because I'm
interested
always
to see how they
amazed at
interact.
Peter's like memory.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great
Martin
memory.
Wood is
Yeah.
the same way. Like Martin Wood,
Yeah.
you give him one episode and you're like, oh yeah, this and this and this and that. And it's like your file cabinets in that brain of
photographic
yours must be
memory.
gorgeous.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. Not without some
nor can
prompting.
I.
No.
All right.
Ian said, "Serious. I thought I knew Stargate, but Nicole's next level." Thank you for the compliments.
That's
People
very,
find
very
me
nice.
amusing.
Aww.
Yeah, please come back next
People
week.
find you
listen
informative.
to us as a
Amusing is
podcast.
meh.
How dare you? Oh dear. See you guys next week. Like really excited, and I like seeing new people turn up, and I hope everyone enjoys us in
Yes.
Yeah,
Tell
you've
a
got to be here
Stargate
for
friend.
that episode. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the name of the show. So
It's our anniversary episode. We got to make a big hullabaloo all over Twitter and Instagram and Facebook,
Yeah.
Evie. So I guess
I may have to
I'll
get a
leave all
slice
that
of
up to Evie
cheesecake.
because she's better. Yeah, I'm gonna get a slice of cheesecake and some Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa cakes.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
Gonna be
I'll
fun.
find something. I don't know. It's the morning. It's hard to have
That's not how you
Jaffa
do
cakes.
it, Nicole. All right, gang. We're the Wormhole Extremists. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you right here next Sunday for our 99th and 100th SG-1 episodes. Bye for now. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.